Hello guys, today we're reviewing Justice League. There was a whole but before we start this review, there was a whole I forgot this movie had actually a good review ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. But I do believe Rotten Tomatoes killed this movie. This movie isn't actually as bad as Rotten Tomatoes as thought it was. I gave it a bad rating first, but I rewatched it again. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Even though they still ruined Batman in the movie, because it's just because I hate Ben Affleck so much. He's just like terrible. He wasn't really Batman, he was Ben Affleck. But people actually liked it because it was actually pretty good for an action movie. It was really good for a DC movie, and I don't understand why the critic, and this kind of started the whole critics, the not trusting critics. And then next year was like Venom and all that stuff. But moving that stuff outside the way, I did not put any promotional material, because for some reason some greedy companies can just copyright claim your videos and basically steal all the revenue from you. So today we'll be reviewing Justice League, and the film goes $657 million on a break-even point of $750 million, becoming a flop and losing around $60 million. I don't know why it's not still on the Box Office Flops website. But likely did make its money back in home video worldwide. But okay, let's start the review. Thousands of years ago, Steppenwolf and his reasons of bad guys attempted to take over Earth. I don't know why Earth. There's so many other planets he could have taken over, but energies of 3 mother boxes. They were foiled by the army of the gods, Amazons, Atlanteans, and Mankind and Green Lantern. After repelling the bad guys, Mankind is born over Superman for 2 years, and in order to regain favor with Darkseid, which they didn't introduce yet, which he's kind of like the Thanos of DC. He's kind of like the Thanos of DC. And then they terraform Earth into the red boxes to just form the unity so destroy Earth's equality and terraform it into what Steppenwolf wants. I don't know why he's going after Earth, but Steppenwolf attacks the Amazonians and Wonder Woman joins Batman, and Batman is going after the Flash and Aquaman, while Diana tries to find the character they ruined in Teen Titans Go, Cyborg, and he wasn't that much better in this movie either. But Wayne fails to persuade Curry, but after Flash joins team, Diana fails to convince Stone to join, or basically Cyborg. He agrees to help them locate the threat. He discovers the location, and he joins the team after other employees are kidnapped. Steppenwolf attacks Atlantis and takes the box, and they all are planning to attack the bad guys. And now they want to get the mother box because they want to bring back Superman. They bring back Superman, and then because Superman is not Superman, he's basically a non-thinking, he doesn't have his memories, he doesn't know what's good or bad because he has been brought back to life, and then he brings Superman's girlfriend, and Superman calms down, leaves of her to Smallville, and then they attack the bad guys in Warsaw, because it has to be in Warsaw, and then Batman and all of them are losing until Superman assists them, and after the battle, and they get the bad guys, of course, get defeated by Superman, and with room for more members, the team is now established, and Lex Luthor has escaped from Arkham Asylum, and he actually looks like Lex Luthor instead of some nerd guy, and then we meet Deathstroke, basically the guy Deadpool was inspired by. But this movie was actually not as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was bad first because I just didn't like Batman vs. Superman, so I thought this film was just bad. The action and the CGI are pretty good. I think they spent too much money on that stuff. I do feel like the storyline is a bit worse, but it's an action film. It's not really. And I think they kind of rushed some of the characters, like Cyborg, but they didn't introduce, I think they sort of did this movie after the Aquaman movie, and after they made a Flash movie, because those are the most important characters, and a standalone Batman movie, but we already know who Batman and Superman are, so we don't need that stuff. But it's now considered a box office bomb, because they were expecting it to make money like the Avengers, which that didn't work because no one wanted to see it. It was kind of like Soul or Sour Story. It was a good movie, but not enough people really turned out to see the movie because of critics. And I think critic reviews are kind of just gone now, because this is a 7 out of 10, just like Venom. It had some fault. It had some problems with the movie, but the problems are not really that much of problems. If you are willing to watch the movie without reason to watch the movie and just enjoy the movie as it is, and not be like one of those critics which they expect the story to always be good. The story of a movie doesn't always have to be good. The CGI, fight scenes, and they kind of make the Justice League be like the Justice League. They have their own problems they have to overcome to even become a team, and that's basically the entire movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's not the perfect movie. The Avengers is still better, but the DC universe is supposed to be darker than the Marvel universe as well, with the exception of Infinity War, which was based off the comic of the same name. But people don't realize that that entire scene was taken from a comic book. But this movie is good. I think it is the first proof, and this also came out the same year as The Last Jedi. This and The Last Jedi proved that critics just don't trust them. And now movies are starting to become quote-unquote critic-proof, like Venom, because people actually like Venom, and critics did not. Same thing with The Upside and Glass. People actually liked those films, and critics did not because they didn't have enough diversity in them, or not a good enough story for them. I don't know what is so bad. I don't know what the critic standards are for movies. But they gave a movie. I just like how they gave a movie about a man, a woman, and a fist falling in love a better score than this movie. Just think about that. Goodbye.